Dear Starseed from Gaia, your sensitivity is not a wound. It is a sacred gift that has been misread by those who were never meant to hold it. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you this transmission directly from the Arcturian Council, delivered in this exact moment because your heart has been carrying something that is finally ready to be understood. You have felt too much. You have loved too deeply. You have walked away from connections that left you feeling broken, wondering if the very thing that makes you feel love so profoundly is somehow the thing destroying you. The Arcturian Council wants you to hear this clearly. Your sensitivity was never the problem. The container was wrong. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to recognize the divine counterpart who is built to receive the depth of love you carry, and how to stop dimming your sacred heart to survive relationships that were never aligned with your soul. But here is the first revelation. Sensitivity placed in the wrong relationship does not reveal your weakness. It amplifies the misalignment. And sensitivity placed in the right energetic container, with your true divine counterpart, becomes the most powerful force in your love story. It becomes the language through which your twin flame union speaks. You did not find this transmission by chance. Your heart called this message in. This is not content. This is a moment of divine intervention. Your soul has been waiting for this guidance. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe that your heart is ready for divine love. Comment 1111 if you feel your heart awakening to divine truth. Subscribe if you are on the twin flame path and aligning with sacred union. Your heart knows why you are here. There is something no one ever told you about being the one who feels everything. They called it too much. They said you were dramatic, or that you cared too deeply, or that you needed to toughen up, build walls, stop wearing your heart so openly in a world that moves too fast to notice what is delicate and real. And for a while, maybe you believed them. Maybe you tried to shrink it, that enormous, trembling capacity you have to feel the weight of a room when you walk in, to sense the unspoken words behind someone's smile, to grieve things that others brush off in minutes while you are still sitting with the ache 3 days later, feeling the echoes long after the initial impact. Perhaps you learned to dim your inner light, to quiet the symphony of your perceptions, hoping to blend into a world that seemed to value a muted, less vibrant existence. You may have perfected the art of appearing composed, even when your inner landscape was a tempest of sensations, all for the sake of fitting in, for being seen as normal. But what if everything they told you was wrong? What if their counsel, born of their own limitations and fears, was a misdirection from the truth of your sacred design? What if the very thing that has made you feel most out of place, most misunderstood, most vulnerable, is actually the most sacred thing about you? What if your profound sensitivity is not a flaw to be overcome, but a compass, a finely tuned instrument of spiritual perception, guiding you to your highest truth? Most souls who carry heightened sensitivity have spent their entire lives apologizing for it. They have edited their reactions, carefully curating their emotional responses, numbing their responses with distraction, with constant doing, with anything that would mute the overwhelming roar of their inner world. They have chosen partners who seemed stable, perhaps emotionally unavailable, but left them feeling profoundly invisible, unacknowledged, like a vibrant painting hung in a room where no one ever truly looks. All of this because they believed that feeling deeply was a flaw, a vulnerability rather than a magnificent, expansive frequency. They entered relationships hoping to be understood, to finally be seen and held in their magnificent depth, and instead, often left them feeling more alone than they ever did before the relationship even began. Not because love inherently failed them, or because they were unlovable, but because they were trying to connect at one voltage, a gentle, subtle, deeply intricate current, while their heart was designed to transmit at another, a powerful, crystalline, multi-dimensional signal that required a receiver of equal, or at least compatible, capacity. This is not a story about being broken. This is not a narrative of damage or deficiency. This is a story about being misread, about a profound and precious signal being misinterpreted by receivers not equipped for its exquisite bandwidth. The soul that feels everything is not damaged. It is not too much. It is not fragile in the way glass shatters, but crystalline in the way quartz amplifies. It is operating on a crystalline transmission frequency, a rare and ancient bandwidth, a sacred wavelength that most people simply do not have the inner architecture, the energetic wiring, or the evolved awareness to receive. When you are in the presence of someone who cannot hold that frequency, someone whose energetic field is simply not designed for such depth and resonance, your sensitivity does not become a gift. It becomes an ache. It becomes a profound, resonant loneliness, like speaking a rare and beautiful language that no one around you understands. It becomes the sheer exhaustion of being the only one in the room who notices the subtle shifts, the unspoken truths, the energetic currents, while everyone else remains comfortably numb, oblivious to the deeper symphony of existence. This is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but of an energetic mismatch. And here is what the Arcturian heart wisdom tells us about this. That exhaustion is not a sign that you are too sensitive, that you are somehow flawed or needing to be fixed. It is a sign that you are in the wrong resonance field, that you are trying to transmit your sacred signal into a void, or into a field that actively dampens it. It is the universe, through the subtle, insistent language of discomfort, of internal friction, of deep weariness, pointing you away from what cannot hold you, away from the barren lands, and toward what has been designed specifically to receive you, to amplify you, to celebrate the entirety of your being. Because there is another experience waiting for you, a profound and expansive experience, one where your sensitivity does not destroy you, does not drain you, but elevates you, becoming a source of unparalleled insight, intuition, and deep connection. One where the person across from you does not flinch at the depth of what you feel, does not recoil from the vastness of your emotional landscape, but meets it, matches it, and moves even deeper into it with you, welcoming every nuanced shade of your truth. They become a sacred anchor, not a limiting tether. Your sensitivity was never the problem. It was never the burden. The alignment was. The field of resonance around you, the energetic compatibility with those you chose to connect with, was the missing key. And today, this transmission is here to show you exactly what has been standing between you and the love that was written for your specific, exquisite frequency, and how to finally clear the signal, to remove the static and interference, so that what is meant for you can find its way home, flowing effortlessly into your experience. What you just felt, that quiet ache mixed with recognition, that subtle tremor in your soul, is not sadness. It is not a lament for what is lost. It is your frequency remembering what it came here to receive, an echo from the deepest chambers of your heart, recognizing a truth it has always known. If this transmission stirred something you cannot name, if it resonated with a part of you that has been waiting to be acknowledged, the divine love frequency code was written for this exact moment in your journey. It contains 5 sacred Arcturian transmissions designed to dissolve the wounds blocking your divine counterpart and activate the signal that draws them closer. The link is in the first pinned comment, but it will only remain there for a short time. The first key, the sacred reframe. Your sensitivity is not a wound, it is a wavelength. Before anything else can shift, before any external alignment can manifest, this must be understood at the cellular level, ingrained in the very fabric of your being. Your sensitivity is not a symptom of trauma. While it may have been deepened by it, perhaps even distorted by it, and it may have been shaped by early experiences where feeling too much meant getting hurt, where your open heart was met with pain or rejection, the root of it, the original, pristine frequency you arrived with, is not damage. It is design. It is intentional, inherent, a magnificent facet of your soul's blueprint. The crystalline transmission you carry is a form of spiritual perception, a heightened awareness that has been present in certain souls across generations, like an ancient lineage of seers and feelers. You are someone who feels the emotional weather of a room before you hear a single word, intuiting the underlying currents, the unspoken tensions, the hidden joys. You sense the truth beneath what people say, perceiving the energetic signature of their words, often recognizing the difference between their expressed thoughts and their true heart's vibration. You are moved by beauty in ways that stop you mid-breath. A sunset, a piece of music, a tender gesture can bring you to tears, overwhelming your senses with its profound resonance. You love with an intensity, a fierce devotion, a boundless empathy that has sometimes frightened the people who were not ready to receive it, who mistook its depth for neediness or its power for instability. None of that is too much. All of that is a frequency. It is a signature, a unique energetic melody that is meant to be played and heard. And when this key turns, when you stop treating your sensitivity as a liability, as a weakness to be hidden or overcome, and begin honoring it, revering it as a sacred gift, an indispensable part of your spiritual architecture, something truly extraordinary happens in your energetic field. The apology for your existence disappears. The heavy armor you have worn for so long, constructed out of self-protection and fear of judgment, starts to dissolve, piece by piece. You stop contorting yourself, bending your true form to fit inside spaces too small for what you carry, for the vastness of your heart and soul, and you begin to take up the full, sacred, magnificent room of who you actually are. This is when your signal changes. This is when your internal broadcast shifts from static and self-doubt to clear, resonant truth. This is when what is truly meant for you begins to locate you, drawn by the authentic vibration of your unbridled self. The second key, the misalignment map. Not every connection was meant to stay. There are relationships that come into a sensitive soul's life that feel like home at first, shimmering with potential, and yet, over time, subtly begin to feel like a slow erasure, a gradual fading of your own vibrant colors. These are not failed relationships in the conventional sense of personal fault. They are not indictments of your worthiness. They are misalignment initiations. They come to show you the precise contours of what you are not, to illuminate the boundaries of your energetic field. And in doing so, they quietly, profoundly reveal the true shape of what you are, of what your soul truly requires. If you have ever felt more alone inside a relationship than you did before it began, if you felt a profound isolation even in the physical presence of another, you were not in a love failure. You were in a frequency mismatch. The person across from you was not necessarily bad, and you were certainly not wrong. But the resonance was off, fundamentally discordant, in a way that made your natural sensitivity curl inward, retracting and protecting itself, rather than expanding outward in open trust and vulnerability. It's like two instruments attempting to play a duet, but tuned to different keys. The resulting sound is not harmonious, but jarring. When two incompatible frequencies try to share the same energetic space, one of them, almost inevitably, shrinks to accommodate the other. For the sensitive soul, due to years of conditioning and a deep-seated desire for harmony, it is almost always yours. You adapt, you accommodate, you soften your reactions, you minimize your feelings, you learn to silence the intuitive whispers, and slowly, imperceptibly, you begin to wonder if the fullness of what you feel, the entirety of your vibrant inner world, is acceptable at all. You start to believe that perhaps you are indeed too much. But this key unlocks when you stop blaming yourself for those connections not working out. When you release the narrative of personal deficiency, and instead, start reading them as a sacred map. Each misalignment, each relationship that dimmed your light, taught you something essential about what your heart requires to truly flourish. Each moment of feeling invisible, of your deepest truths going unacknowledged, gave you a clearer, more poignant picture of what it will truly feel like when you are deeply seen, profoundly heard, and completely understood. You were not failing. You were gathering crucial intel, calibrating your internal compass, navigating with exquisite precision toward the frequency that can truly hold you, that can cherish your depth and reflect your light. The third key, the wound beneath the sensitivity. What is being carried that is not yours? There is a deeper layer beneath the natural, crystalline sensitivity that you carry, and it must be looked at with honesty, with gentle yet unwavering courage. For many souls who feel everything, there is a foundational wound that amplified this innate sensitivity into a state of hypervigilance, a childhood experience of emotional unpredictability, of walking on eggshells, of love feeling profoundly conditional, of having to constantly read the emotional temperature of a room, of your caregivers, to feel safe, to feel loved, to simply exist without fear of sudden storm. This wound, born of early life experiences, is not who you are. It is not your essence. But it has, for a significant portion of your journey, been unconsciously steering some of your most crucial choices, particularly in matters of the heart. It is the wound that, seeking to recreate a familiar pattern, chose unavailable partners and mistakenly called it destiny, confusing the ache of longing for the thrill of true connection. It is the wound that confused emotional volatility with passion, mistaking dramatic highs and lows for the deep currents of love, and confusing intensity with true intimacy, which is built on safety, trust, and consistent presence. It is the wound that made you believe, often desperately, that if you just loved someone well enough, consistently enough, openly enough, with enough effort and sacrifice, they would eventually be able to feel and return the magnificent, boundless love you were offering. You believed you could earn the love you craved by sheer force of your giving. This key turns when you engage in the sacred alchemy of separating what is truly your divine, sacred gift of sensitivity from what is a deeply ingrained, often unconscious, survival pattern. When you look at your sensitivity with discerning eyes and ask, not in judgment, but in inquiry, which part of this is my inherent beautiful frequency? And which part of this is fear dressed as feeling? Which part is intuition? And which part is hyper-vigilant scanning for danger? The wound does not magically disappear overnight. The scars remain as testimony to your resilience. But once it is named, once it is seen for what it truly is, a protective mechanism that has outlived its usefulness, it loses its insidious power to masquerade as love, to drive your decisions from the shadows, or to compel you into patterns that diminish your light. Because the love that is truly meant for your frequency does not require you to earn it through tireless effort or endless sacrifice. It does not require you to survive it, navigating a constant landscape of uncertainty and emotional risk. It arrives as a profound, steady peace, a quiet knowing, a deep sanctuary, not as a test of your endurance or a challenge to your worth. The fourth key, the frequency match, what it feels like. When someone can truly hold you, there is a specific, unmistakable quality to being in the presence of your resonant partner, a felt sense that no sensitive soul can mistake once they have experienced it, even briefly, even in a fleeting moment of connection that has not yet fully arrived in your physical reality. It is the experience of your entire nervous system going quiet, not numb, not suppressed, not shut down in self-protection, but exquisitely quiet, still, as if every part of you that has been braced for impact, every muscle held in tension, every energetic antenna scanning for threat, is finally, gently, profoundly allowed to rest. It is the deep exhale of a soul coming home. This is what frequency match feels like. It is not the thrilling, yet ultimately unsustainable fireworks built on anxiety and the addictive push-pull of emotional drama. It is not the consuming pull of someone who is emotionally unavailable, which often activates ancient wounds and therefore feels intensely familiar, confusing this activated longing with genuine connection. It is not the fleeting high of someone who mirrors your intensity for a short time but cannot sustain it, leaving you feeling depleted and abandoned once again. Frequency match is the exquisite, soul-deep experience of feeling known. Not because they have studied you meticulously, or because you have meticulously explained every facet of your being, but because they resonate at a harmonic, a core vibrational alignment that allows your full signal to be transmitted and received without distortion, without needing translation, without judgment. Your depth does not overwhelm them. Instead, they are drawn into it, finding comfort and expansion within its vastness. Your emotion does not alarm them. It flows through them, witnessed and understood without needing to be fixed or rationalized. Your love does not make them retreat or feel smothered. Instead, it is met and embraced, returning to you in kind, amplifying both your hearts. This key unlocks when you stop confusing emotional chaos and dramatic intensity with genuine chemistry, when you release the allure of the familiar wound and start recognizing true resonance by the profound quality of peace, safety, and authentic presence it creates within your entire being. You are not looking for an idealized storybook romance. You are looking for harmonious, for someone whose soul speaks the same sacred language as yours, whose energetic signature aligns with your own, and who receives every nuanced word, every heartfelt transmission, with grace, understanding, and profound appreciation. The fifth key, the signal upgrade. Becoming the resonance. You are calling in here is a truth that the sensitive soul, often steeped in humility and self-doubt, sometimes resists with a quiet yet powerful stubbornness. You cannot effectively call in a frequency-matched partner, a soul who deeply resonates with your truth, while simultaneously broadcasting a signal of unworthiness. You cannot magnetize someone who is destined to see your full, luminous light if your internal broadcast is set to apologize for your existence, to shrink yourself to a manageable size, or to constantly question whether you fundamentally deserve to be loved exactly as you are, in all your glorious complexity and depth. Your energetic field, the subtle yet potent vibration you emit into the world, is not separate from your love life. It is not merely an invisible aura. It is the very foundation of it, the energetic blueprint upon which all your connections are built. This key is about the sacred, profound internal work of becoming, in your daily vibration, what you are seeking in a partner. It is about embodying, with unwavering integrity, the very qualities of love, respect, and acceptance that you desire to receive. It is about allowing yourself to feel, without apology, without judgment, without the need to rationalize or diminish, the magnificent depth of what you carry within your heart. It is about stopping the insidious habit of dulling your frequency, of muting your authentic self for the comfort or convenience of those who cannot or will not hold it. It is about speaking your truth, even if your voice trembles, without immediate retreat or self-recrimination. It is about feeling your emotions, allowing them to flow through you, without labeling them as too much or irrational. It is about choosing yourself, honoring your needs, and establishing sacred boundaries in the quiet moments when no one else is watching, when the only witness is your own soul. Because the frequency you embody when you are truly alone, in your most authentic and unguarded state, is the precise signal that reaches across time and space, vibrating outwards into the cosmic tapestry, and begins drawing your resonant counterpart closer. They do not arrive when you are performing okayness, when you are projecting an image of detached strength. They are drawn by the real, unfiltered vibration of a heart that has stopped waiting to be worthy, that has ceased its striving and proving, and has instead begun to simply be, to be radiant, to be vulnerable, to be true to itself. The sixth key, the sacred solitude. The ache has been doing holy work. For sensitive souls, the experience of being alone, truly, deeply, profoundly alone in the felt sense, not just physically isolated, is one of the most difficult and often excruciating initiations on the spiritual path. It is not merely loneliness, though that is often a companion. It is the exquisite, profound ache of a frequency that is naturally built for profound, soul-deep connection, living in a space where that connection has not yet fully materialized in the external world. It is the silence that feels too loud, amplifying every unspoken desire. The evenings that feel too long, stretching into an eternity of quiet. The moments of breathtaking beauty, of profound insight, of spiritual epiphany that you want to share with someone who is not yet there, creating a yearning that echoes through your entire being. This ache, this profound longing, is not evidence of abandonment, of cosmic neglect, or of your inherent brokenness. It is, in fact, sacred evidence of your vast capacity. You ache at that magnitude, with that profound depth of longing, precisely because you are capable of love at that magnitude, because your heart is designed for a connection that transcends the ordinary. The emptiness you sometimes feel is not a void, a barren wasteland. It is a sacred, prepared space. It has been shaped, refined, cleared, and consecrated by every relationship that did not work, by every moment of growth forged in the silence, by every tear shed in understanding, by every prayer sent into the unknown in the dark. It is like the fallow ground, resting and gathering nutrients, ready for the most precious seeds to be planted. This key turns when you begin to understand, with profound spiritual insight, that solitude has not been keeping you from love, has not been a punishment or a delay. It has been actively, exquisitely preparing you for the specific, sacred love that your unique frequency requires. The often arduous, deeply internal work done in your aloneness, in those quiet, introspective moments, is the very work that builds the foundation for sacred union to be not just found, but to be sustainable, resilient, and deeply nourishing. You have not been wasting time. You have been becoming ready, cultivating the inner sanctuary that can truly host a divine counterpart. The seventh key, the open door. Union begins before they arrive. The final key is the one that no external force, no cosmic decree, no spiritual guide can turn for you. It is turned from the inside, from the deepest core of your being. It is the decision, quiet, sovereign, deeply personal, and immensely powerful, to stop living as if love is something that happens to you, a serendipitous event that magically occurs when the right person finally arrives, and to begin living as if love is something you already are, a radiant, inherent state of being that you embody moment by moment. This is not merely a philosophical concept. It is not an intellectual exercise. It is a profound, life-altering practice. It is the daily, conscious choice to treat yourself, your body, your heart, your mind, your spirit, with the same tenderness, the same unwavering compassion, the same profound respect, and the same fierce devotion you would offer your sacred counterpart, your divinely appointed beloved. To speak to yourself with the same patience you would extend to another, to honor your needs, to uphold your boundaries, to listen to your inner wisdom with the same devotion you have historically poured outward, often into connections that could not fully receive it or reciprocate it. When this door opens, when the loving of yourself becomes as real and as consistent, as tangible and as non-negotiable as the longing for someone to love you, the energetic architecture of your entire life reorganizes itself. The people, the situations, the spaces that cannot hold your frequency stop feeling magnetic, stop holding any power over you, and their absence feels like a liberation rather than a loss. The spaces that have been shrinking you, dimming your light, start feeling profoundly wrong, discordant in a way you can no longer ignore or tolerate. And something new, something exquisitely aligned, begins to move toward you. Not in desperation, not in performance, not in a frantic chase, but in gentle, effortless response to the genuine, clear, and radiant signal of a heart that has finally come home to itself, that is whole and complete in its own divine essence. The union, the sacred connection you yearn for, does not begin when they physically walk through your door. It begins the moment you unlock it from within, inviting your own highest self to reside fully within your heart. Here is what must be said at the end of this, clearly and without softness, because you have spent too long treating this as a question rather than a knowing. You are not too much. You have simply been surrounded by too little. The crystalline transmission you carry, that extraordinary, aching, luminous capacity to feel everything, to perceive the subtle, to love with boundless depth, is not a burden to be managed or a flaw to be fixed, a weakness to be overcome. It is a sacred frequency, a divine signature that belongs in a specific kind of love. Not a perfect love, for perfection is an illusion. Not a storybook love, for reality often transcends simplistic narratives, but a real, resonant, depth-matched love that meets you exactly where you are, in all your glorious authenticity, and does not ask you to be smaller, to dim your light, or to contort yourself to make it comfortable for another. It is a love that expands you, not constricts you. Every relationship that left you feeling invisible, unheard, or drained was not a failure on your part. It was a divine redirection, a crucial signpost pointing you closer to your true path. Every moment of aloneness that felt unbearable, like a vast, empty expanse, was not abandonment. It was sacred preparation, a crucible in which your soul was being refined and strengthened. Every time your heart broke open, spilling its vulnerability into the world, it was not being destroyed. It was being enlarged, expanding its capacity, made more capable, more compassionate, more vast for the love that is still coming, that has always been coming, that has been moving toward you with the same unwavering certainty that the tide moves toward the shore. The Arcturian heart wisdom does not offer timelines, for the universe operates on divine timing, not human calendars. It does not promise tomorrow, but it transmits this, clearly, undeniably, to the soul that has been carrying its sensitivity like a wound for far too long. The love that is aligned with your frequency is not a dream you are chasing, a fleeting mirage. It is a remembrance that is waking up within you, a deep inner knowing being activated. And the more you honor what you are, the more you stop apologizing for the depth of your feeling and start revering it as your most profound spiritual gift, the closer that remembrance comes, manifesting in your reality. You did not come here to experience love in shallow water, skimming the surface of connection. You came to know it at the depths, to dive into the vast ocean of divine union. And everything, every ache, every clearing, every moment of wondering if you were somehow too broken or too much or too late, has been the sacred, intricate, and utterly necessary preparation for that. Tonight, if you are willing, place one hand on your heart before you sleep. Feel its steady rhythm, its boundless capacity. Breathe slowly, deeply, allowing oxygen and peace to fill every cell, and say, quietly or aloud, these words, planting them like sacred seeds in your consciousness. I am not too much for the love that is meant for me. I release what could not hold my frequency. I am open, I am worthy, and I am ready to be truly seen. Then let the silence answer you, because it will. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what is forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This is not content. It is collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, do not keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You are not just watching. You are healing. This is your sacred space, and we are just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.